Okay, so this was one of my favorite builds that I've set up so far because I am a Strand enjoyer. We are using the new exotic Moirai. I could be pronouncing that wrong. I'm thinking of the ghost Moirai from Phasmophobia. I could even be saying that wrong as well. But let's get into the build. So as you can see, we have trusty Barrow Dyad, and this is just a really solid weapon. It comes from episode Heresy and a quest. I'm not sure how you get it now, but a second solid option for this build is Quicksilver Storm from Lightfall, and if you don't have that, Mint Retrograde would be good in this build. That's a new weapon that you can get. There's also the Last Thursday Pulse Rifle from Kepler that you can use in this build. Don't use this roll though, I just got this to drop randomly and I'm keeping it for infusion fodder. But basically what Moirai does is you're going to be able to use your Threaded Spike to bounce off of Tangles and detonate them immediately, and when your Threaded Spike comes back, you press your melee button to take back your Threaded Spike. It will catch a Tangle and refund extra melee energy. So you're basically guaranteed to get your melee back. It is super fun, and I highly recommend it. And of course, because we're on Strand and we're using Tangles, yeah, we're going to use Whirling Maelstrom and Beyblade it up. I mean, why wouldn't you? And I do have Threaded Spectre on because it's nice to avoid reloading with Barrow Dyad, as it has a special effect when it reloads, so to speak. It loads these Blightseekers you'll see in the gameplay. Of course, it would also work with Quicksilver, but it doesn't reload the rocket launcher shots, or excuse me, grenade launcher shots. So I think you have to do that manually, which that does spawn Tangles, which is why I recommend, at least if you have the Catalyst, to use Quicksilver, because Final Blows with that grenade form, or grenade launcher form, will spawn Tangles. And it did get buffed. It wasn't super good. I mean, it's okay now, but I do think if you have Barrow Dyad, it'll do a lot better in this build. Alright, so how are we using our subclass to get more Tangles and to get them often? We have Thread of Warding for Woven Mail, and you might say, well, there's no Tangles there, and you would be correct, because we want Woven Mail for Thread of Transmutation to work. That way, while we have Woven Mail active, we have a chance to create Tangles with Final Blows. Actually, I don't think it's a chance, I think it's guaranteed, but there's a cooldown on it. I just realized I didn't have Thread of Fury on, and so I put it on, but yeah, you're definitely going to want this one. You will get your melee back pretty fast, especially if you're able to build into your melee stat like I have with my setup anyway, but if you don't have as much melee as I do, don't feel too bad. The stats are messed up right now because they're bugged. 70 is supposed to be about where the pre-Edge of Fate numbers would be at 100. So, you know, say I have 89 super, that's above 100 to be like 110 in old values. But for now, that doesn't technically count. So even if you're able to just get your melee up to 70 and that's it, this build will still be good once the bug is fixed, but Thread of Fury will of course help with that. And then I have Thread of Propagation on here just to give me that extra 10 melee, and Unraveling Rounds are pretty nice in this build as well. And for our armor setup, I'm lucky enough to have a full set of Bushido, and it's great because it does fit in to this build really well, because what does Strand not have a lot of? Healing. Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of healing. If you don't know what the Bushido armor does, I think I have to go in here to see the traits, and here we have the traits. We have Aedo, which Final Blows with freshly drawn or reloaded weapons heal you, and that's really nice because you'll be reloading Barrow Dyad a ton. And if you're using a shotgun, bow, or sword, which I'm using a shotgun for 1-2 punch and pugilist with the Ikelos shotgun, but Final Blows with those weapons will give you some damage reduction, as well as, you know, if you continue to damage targets with those weapons, it will extend that effect. If you have the 4-piece stat bonus on, I'm crafting up some other builds in my head with this set, and I'm very excited. It's certainly one of, if not the best, set bonuses in the game right now. Of course, there's always a good chance they will get beefed up, and if you're confused or maybe don't know where to get these, sometimes it'll be a guaranteed reward from the Pinnacle Ops. Even if you were to play something else aside from Kel's Fall, I think there's a chance that you'll get it to drop anyway, but definitely suggest farming for that armor. Even if you just get the 2 pieces of armor for the 2-piece bonus, it's really solid. I don't know why I expected more right there because I wanted to just show this again, but yeah, it's super solid and it plays into the build very nicely. Here are the mods that I have on for the build. We have the dual solar and strand siphon because I'm running a solar shotgun, and of course Barodiad, harmonic siphon for a little extra orb generation, and then hands-on because we're going to be using our melees a lot. Then for the arms, we have heavy-handed for some orb generation, melee kickstart to give a little bit of a boost. Might not be super necessary. Again, depends on your melee stat, and I just have fastball on here because why not? Resist mods based on what you're doing, and I have the health font on because my health stat in this build is dookie, so really it's up to you. You could throw on an extra resist if your armor has a little bit more health, or whatever you see fit. You could throw on a charged up, whatever floats your boat there. Recuperation again, just to give some more healing because Strand lacks healing. Invigoration to help us out with our melee regen, and then elemental charge because we're going to be destroying a ton of tangles with this build. Of course, outreach to help out with our melee once again, powerful attraction to dodge and proc these 2 perks here, and then Reaper because again we're going to be dodging quite a bit, spawn more orbs. Yeah, you can pause here again if you want to see the full mod list. And usually I don't do this for videos because I want people to look at these maybe in the future and not worry too much about the artifact, but there are so many juicer perks in this artifact for this build in particular. Starting off with Tightly Woven. While Woven Mail is active, gain increased class ability and grenade stats. This will help you out, especially if you fully on build into melee, so you can kind of get some extra regen there because you will have Woven Mail quite often. Refresh Threads, picking up an elemental pickup matching your subclass element or tangle while you have a Strand super, grants energy to your least charged ability. You'll see in the gameplay, I don't really need to use my super that much throughout the Kel's Fall mission I end up doing because I'm trying to grind for some better Bushido armor. But, you know, this is a bonus. Of course, you can use the super as much as you want, especially if you are going to get it back. There's no reason not to. But I just wanted to showcase the build as much as I could, and that meant using the super a little bit less. We also have Elemental Coalescence, which defeating targets has the chance to create an elemental pickup matching your equipped super element, which I think should count for Strand. I'm not sure, it might not, so, you know, maybe you don't need that one. Cauterize Darkness, Stasis or Strand debuffed non-boss combatants take increased solar damage from all sources. Again, only if you're running something else that is solar, like a shotgun or whatever. Threaded Blast, destroying a tangle with strand damage, increases the radius of the explosion and its damage. Elemental Overdrive, picking up an elemental pickup or tangle, grants increased damage to weapons of the same element, so you're going to get a buff to your Barodiad or Quicksilver. And then Tangled Web, creating a tangle by defeating a strand debuffed target, suspends nearby combatants. That's where the Unraveling can come into play as well. And you can see from my heavy that I have the Cataphract GL. This is the one that Banshee sold during the perk waiting gate thing, so you can't really get this particular role all that easy right now because Trials isn't active, but you can, if you have Final Shape, get Pro Memoria. This will do pretty solid with this build. You don't need to have this exact role. However, Desperate Measures would be pretty solid with it as well, so definitely recommend that. But if you have this GL, it cooks, and you know, boss damage is kind of hard to do. I mean, you can grapple melee, you just can't do it consistently with this build. I might try out Navigator with this build to see how it is, because it did get buffed, but for now, I mean, I just wanted to make this build, this version of it, because it is truly fun. It's even better with Bushido because it takes one of the largest weaknesses Strand has, and it makes it a little bit better because you have healing, and you'll see throughout the video I do get super weak at times, you know, a place where you might see a healing grenade thrown out or something else to proc healing on a different subclass or prismatic to be particular. You would, you know, that's where you would do it. But with Strand and Bushido, I have to rely on Woven Mail, and I have to rely on the set bonus to keep me going. Of course, you could run something with Heal Clip as well if you're struggling a ton. I mean, Barodiad with its secondary reload and target lock is basically a special weapon, so you could probably get away with running 2 primaries with this build, but the 1-2 punch and Pugilist on Ikelos it was too nice for me to pass up. But enjoy some of the gameplay here of Kel's Fall with this build. It shines in Ad Clear, and again, the rotation you want to do, I mean, there's multiple ways you can do it. You can get some weapon final blows to create a tangle, throw your melee, and then grab the tangle on its way back. Great tip for Strand in general. If you're on Hunter, you will see when the melee icon flashes again after you throw your melee. It has like this hook icon, and that's when you want to press your melee button again. You can kind of look and wait for that to make sure you guarantee the rebound on the melee to get that tangle. But yeah, that's a fantastic tip for this build, something I didn't know until a couple months ago maybe, and we've had Strand for a while, and yeah, I should have known that. But anyway, you get some weapon final blows, you make a tangle, throw your melee out, or if there's a ton of ads, you can just throw your melee out. It will make a tangle, and then as long as you get the rebound, you should be able to throw it again to get that tangle that you just made, and then from there you can just keep it going. You know, you're gonna have at least 2 Beyblades up, and that's when you can use your other weapons instead of relying on your melee to get stuff done, and then just restart that process once those tangles run out. And it's super fun. I love Strand so much. I love the movement, and listen, the tangle damage with Whirling Maelstrom is actually not bad. I was surprised, but again, I was using it in mostly lower level stuff. I don't know how this build will play out in the higher level difficulties, probably not all that well, but it's still a super fun build. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you watched to the end, I appreciate you, and please consider subscribing. I think it's like 98 to 99% of people aren't subscribed who watch my videos, and again, it's really easy, and I would appreciate it very much. And look forward to more build videos, as we've got a lot of stuff to cook with here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.